Hello everyone and welcome. We are here, we are live, we are ready to go, and we are picking up exactly where we left off at the conclusion of the last stream. Aboard here, Moon Station, we have Taborn, Lemmet, Fuzzy One, and Cabot all aboard. We have ourselves, this is the vessel that brought them here. This is a little lander. This thing has quite a lot of fuel on it, so that we can at least do a couple more landings with this lander. We've done a bunch of them over in the past as well. And we are in a polar orbit about the moon so that we can land in any biome that we want. And I want to draw attention a bit to the contract that I have. I went back between the two streams to Mission Control and looked to see if there were any contracts that were worth diving into. And I saw this: do a simple scan with a rover arm of a moon large crater. And I do have a rover with a rover arm sitting on the surface. Unfortunately, right now it's in the middle. It's like at lunar midnight. And so I don't want to start looking around for a large moon crater in complete blackness. So we're going to wait. It's going to take about a day and a half for it to come over into the daylight. But we'll do that in a little bit. In the meantime, these folks can come down. Now, one thing to notice about this station is it does have a lab module aboard, but I don't have the electrical generation to run it. Lab module takes about 5 units of electric charge per second, and the only solar panels are like these Oxstat ones. They're the only ones I've unlocked so far. And I need 160 science to unlock the deployable solar panels. And so part of my plan today is to get enough science going to get up to 160 science, send over some solar panels, and get our engineer to install them on here so that we can power this station and get our 2 scientists to start generating some science using the lab module. The other thing I actually want to send over here is I didn't realize when I sent these folks all over that I have unlocked the passive seismometer. That's the one that comes with the Breaking Ground DLC that you can deploy on the surface using a Kerbal, and I just didn't bring one. So when we send over a little care package with those solar panels, we'll make sure to send one of those as well. Anyway, this is my hardcore stream. Usually I should describe what that is for those people that are new. I am playing this on hard mode. One of the things that means that there is no quick saves and no revert, so if things go wrong, things just go wrong, and we have to live with the consequences, as well as I turn the science down to 30% of what it is normally, so progress can be challenging at times. Alright, and Oliver, hello Oliver, how are you? Should upgrade to Parallax. I got Parallax installed, it's on this thing. I do have many batteries, yes. Again, that shows you where I am on the tech tree, that I had to use these little Z100 batteries. But all that's designed to do is allow the lab to run through the night. So this will use up the electricity in these batteries in a pretty short period of time. So we're not going to run the lab just yet. So batteries will help, but only for a little bit. Anyway, what do I want to do? I want to take a look. I came up with a bunch of science, and I didn't transmit any of the science that I had because we landed on the dark side of the moon. The reason why I landed on the dark side of the moon is because I wanted to swipe the seismometer and put it on the lander, which I believe I did. Yeah, there it is right there. Again, that was ill planning on my part that we had to sort of salvage that, but the lander happened to be in the dark, so I didn't transmit any science. So I do want to see if there's any of this that's worth transmitting. Like, for instance, here I have a crew report from the moon's lowlands. No penalty for transmitting, so we might as well transmit that. EVA report from the lowlands. So let's see what that will get our science to. This one I don't want to transmit. We'll take it home. I could also process it in the lab. I'll try and get a little bit better organized with my next moon landing and show you how to do that. That puts data in the lab for the science to turn it, or the scientists to turn into science. But anything that's not full transmittable, I'm not going to transmit. So that's about it. And that gets me up to 126.9. Okay, so what I think we're going to do is I think we're going to go for another landing. Now, is this thing fueled? I did fuel this. Oh my gosh, look at me. I'm prepared for once. Let's take a look at all the little fuel cans here. Yep, they are all filled up. Is the RCS filled up? Monopropellant? It is. Okay, there we go. But before we go and do that, just one last little announcement I want to make, and that is that I'm going on a vacation. The wife and I are going on a vacation starting tomorrow. We are going to be renting a houseboat. We're going to be cruising along a nearby waterway for a week. We are really looking forward to it, but obviously that means I'm going to be away from streaming for a little while. So no stream this Thursday. I won't be doing Icarus on Thursday. No stream next Tuesday. So it'll be 2 weeks before we get to KSP again. I'm hoping to pick up the streaming again on the following Thursday. So I just wanted to really quickly make that announcement so that people know next 2 streams won't be any streams. Okay, let's get started with landing. And the first thing we got to do is pick a landing spot. And I really don't have a lot of qualms of hitting Alt 12 and bringing up the console menu. And I got to remember where these are. There is a button for showing all resources. No. There is a button for showing all the database, all the biomes. Let me just very quickly see if I can find out where that is. It's not under any of these, Maybe it's under cheats because it is sort of cheaty. I don't think so. Physics, contracts, Kerbals. Is it under breaking ground? I didn't think it was. Come on. Should have looked this up. I've done this before and now I've forgotten where it is. There was a biomes visit. Yeah, biomes visit. There we go. Right under my nose. Under the cheats. So you click that and it shows all the biomes. It doesn't tell you what they are, but it tells you, you know, where biomes are at. And if I put on my flags in conjunction with that, we can see all the places that Kerbals have put down. I can also, I just want to land somewhere new. I can also bring up X Science and look at something like EVA, Moon, Surface. And for some reason it's... Oh, because I got stuff that's only available now. Show experiments available right now. Unlocked. Show experiments available on this vessel. Show all experiments. Why? I wanted to show EVA reports. Okay, EVA. Now, filter that further for the moon. There we go. And for... Oh, landed. That's what I gotta do. There we go. Okay, now this is making some sense. So I can see things like, for instance, I haven't... You can see the ones now that I've never put a Kerbal down on, and there's still a lot. So let's see what's coming up. Where's our orbit taking us? Our orbit's taking us... So this is here... I think this is the lunar basin here. The polar basin, I think is what it's called. Or maybe it's polar lowlands. No, I think polar lowlands are up this way. So I think the this I think I've not done. I can see it here. It's right below us right now, but it will continue to be below. I'm gonna go for this. So let's take a look. Oh, here. Alt F12. And if you think that's a little cheaty, I can understand why. I would install, personally, yeah, I'm going to land in this zone here. I think this looks pretty good. Oh, I can look at my Farside Basin. That's what we're at. And Farside Basin, Kerbal Engineer's telling me. You can also install a mod, ScanSat, which is just great. You can put up mapping satellites and you can map this stuff for yourself. And they're far more useful than what I just showed you there. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to land there. So first thing we got to do is transfer over some Kerbals. Now, who has not been down to the surface yet? Tuborn has not. Are you in here by any chance? You are not. Must have put you in here. There you are. To our lander, and our engineer has planted a flag on the moon. This scientist is not. So transfer her over. And I'm also going to take a quick look. Yeah, I noticed that they have their parachutes. The funny thing with parachutes is, I'll click around, but yeah, they tend to, when you take the parachutes away, they obviously are of no use on the surface of the moon, but I find sometimes they end up, yeah, see, I'm getting more they spawn themselves. There's a parachute over here. There's some sort of weird parachute spawning bug that's hard to understand. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to land around here. So we're going to go around to the other side of the planet, the other side of the moon, and we're going to drop our lander. We're going to do this thing. Okay, so we're not going to be doing that contract. Let's just drop that. Get rid of the contracts. Get rid of this. Okay, and I'll open up that guy, though. There we go. Okay, let's undock. Let's go. Back away a little bit. There's probably some reaction wheels here for me to toggle on. There are. And activate said engine. CS can come off. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to give a little bit of a push here. Yep, we're moving. Just to get away from the station a little bit. That throttle limiter is way down. Definitely want to fix that. And I think anywhere in this zone, it's going to be kind of twilighty. I can see that. But I think it should be okay. Maybe I should have picked something more on this side. We're kind of like, our orbit's like right on the terminator of the moon here. So we're sort of, no matter where I land, I'm going to be like either right at sunrise or right at sunset. Oh, I see Kerbal Engineers putting down a little target there for me. I think I can burn a little more. But I'm pretty sure I need to come up in this area here. I think that's good enough for now. Okay. Alright. Let's see. Gear deploy. Always like to roll this so that the blue is up on the nav ball. That kind of helps me out. Put this on terrain and put that on surface. And I think we're ready to go. And then there's always a part of me that wants to quick save at this point. And I can't. Quick save doesn't work. There's a spot above the polar crater where you can visit 3 biomes and within just 2.5 kilometers. Probably, yeah. You know, I'm never really very good at optimizing things. I've never been a min-max type of person with games. I've always been a, yeah, that's good enough. But yeah, landing somewhere where actually 2 biomes are really close together is probably a good idea. So according to this, I'm still over the highlands. I think I can afford to knock off a bit more velocity. Maybe not. I think what I'll do is just kind of cruise along like this. And just kind of look. The basin's really big. So what I'm thinking of doing is just, if I see this go to basin, and the terrain below me looks reasonable, or at least the terrain coming up looks reasonable, I think what I'll do is just punch it and go down. So a little time warping. Okay, that's Midlands. A little further. I just really want to make sure to land in the... Ooh, we got a great big crater coming up. I gotta be a little careful about that. Still says Midlands, Lowlands. Still over 4 kilometers above the surface, so we're doing fine. I don't know. Oh, there, we're at the Farside Basin. So what I'm thinking around here-ish. So what I'm going to do is just kind of come a little this way. Kind of push me away from that crater. Punch that up. But also at the same time, we're knocking off velocity here. More throttle. I'll try and put it down around here-ish. Looks flattish over there. That feels good. Oh, and I'm starting to see, you can see the terrain marker there from Kerbal Engineer. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I can see it, the little red dot. Here, I'm going to really punch it. Because anywhere along here I think is going to be fine. Okay, 1.5 kilometers above the surface. Knocking off that velocity. I can lock it onto retrograde and we'll just guide her down. Okay, about 500 meters. Put the cap locks on. There, we're doing fine. Start to see the lights. Slow right down. Hardly any throttle right now. And boom, we're down. Okay. You know, I never used to lock it to retrograde. I was always sort of paranoid about that when the retrograde vector disappears, that the rocket would do something stupid. But that's clearly the easiest way to do it. And then all you got to do is control your descent speed. It's super duper easy. Now, am I generating any electricity? I am not. That's what I was sort of worried about. So we're gonna risk some transmitting. We'll see how it goes. But right now, let's do science. So we got crew reports. What happens if I transmit this? Because I would love to transmit some of this stuff away, because then you can take another crew report and keep that one for just the scientific data, even though it's not worth anything. We got a temperature scan. Yeah, let's transmit that too. I want to try and feed some stuff to the, then we'll take another one and just keep it. We'll do an atmospheric pressure scan, same thing, transmit, keeping an eye on this. And then we'll do another one and just keep it. I won't transmit the mystery goo because I'm worried about using too much electricity, or the material study. Do a seismic scan. Yeah, let's transmit that one, and we'll do another one, and then we'll get Kerbal out. Do some stuff. Do another one. Oh, did that? Oh, it's still transmitting. Okay, see, here's where I got to start watching my electricity. Okay, we're done with transmitting. We're done with transmitting. We're just going to grab that. Okay, scientist out. We can take the crew report that's in there and then store it back again. EVA report. Yeah, I'm not going to transmit that. And a surface sample, even though, like, technically, like, you're kind of... Oh, let's hide the little red circle there. Okay, we'll collect the science that's over here. Though, to be honest, I don't really have to. Take that. Take that. Take that. Collect data. Collect data from there. And I think that's all she has to do. Whoops. Sorry, I'm trying to read the chat and fly this at the same time. Don't you have a scientist aboard so you can pull the reports into the cockpit? Absolutely, I'm doing that. But the idea here is that I got some, if I review my stored data, some of this stuff I want to keep, but some of this stuff like this I want to take up to the lab and convert into science. Should I risk? I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk transmitting. Let's review that again. I'm going to risk transmitting. Oh, no, the crew report I don't want. That one. The EVA report, I can transmit that for full science. I'm just watching my electricity really carefully here. Okay, that's good. Because what that means is she can go out and do another one real quick. EVA report and board. All right, let's get to Born out. Our pilot, we're going to Born's simply going to plant a flag. And then we're getting out of here before we run out of electricity. Okay, so this is the Intrepid. Install the cap lock on. Intrepid. And I think, and I could be wrong, but I'm thinking this is landing number 4. I was looking at sort of the records I have on this, and I think this is my 4th landing with this lander. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is Born and Cabot and the Farside Crater. No, the Farside Basin. Hope the EC lasts. Okay, let's go. No more flapping about. Am I using the lab? Whoa, shoot, 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 shoot. Oh, look out for the antennas, you jerk. That's what happens when I read the lab, or read the text, or read the chat. Grab it. There we go. Take the data twice. Yes, I know. I don't want to transmit all of it. I don't have enough electricity, so I was being very selective of what I have. Do I have the lab? Yes, I do, but I don't have enough electricity, but I do want to start bringing up stuff for the lab. Anyway, I think I have pushed my luck enough when it comes to electricity, so we don't have to get too high, I think, before we catch the sun. Our station is to the south of us, so we're just going to launch to the south. Let's set that as a target. It is in a 15. We're going to go up a little. Yeah, let's just go now. So we're going to go up into a. Let's go. Well, let's just go 15 and then we'll figure it out. I go through this every single time. Okay, launch and southward. So go. Every single time I'm like, oh, what's going to be my best way to get to the station? And then every single time I just kind of decide I'm going to wing it. But I got to start by pointing towards the south and just going. You can see our electricity. I didn't want to get that any lower than what it is at. But we should be catching some rays pretty soon. Bring this up to about 15 kilometers, which is the same altitude as the station's in, and then we shall figure it out. Woo! I can't believe the moon moved that much. Did you see that? Call me crazy. I'm going to do this with a maneuver node here. Often I freehand this, but this time I'm going to use a maneuver node. So I still got 4 minutes till I'm going to be there, so why not? There we go. Okay. I was considering that. I'm being asked, and it's a very good question. Is waiting for the station to orbit around not worth it, because that would force a larger plane change? And I don't know. I've not gone through the math of it. So you can see how much our plane has moved just because of the moon's rotation during that time while we were sitting on the surface. So I'm going to need to make a bit of a plane change once I do that. And the longer I wait, the more that plane change is going to be. However, I could have waited until the station came around to here, and then I could probably do my rendezvous in a more timely way. What's the better way to do it? I don't know. I've never actually sat down and worked it out. Hello, Javier. Glad you can make it. This engine does not generate electricity, but the sun, which has just shown up, does. Yeah, the Terrier does not generate EC, so I had to be mindful of that. Hello, Mason. Glad you can make it as well. Okay. Now, how much science? I transmitted... Oh, my 174. I needed to get 160, so I'm over the magic amount. So I'm thinking once I get these back, I'm going to head back into the vehicle assembly building. Keep these folks here. They're going to be, I think, in orbit about the moon for a while. Once I get them back to the station. And then we'll send over that care package with the solar panels and the seismic sensor McJobby thing, and we'll get some science going. And we have Jeremy and Old Scent also aboard. Welcome, welcome. We have just left the surface of the moon, the Farside crater to be more precise. And I'm just inserting myself into the orbit, and then we'll figure out how to get ourselves to our station. But yeah, my MO with this is always, we'll get it out. We'll just, you know, once you're in orbit, you figure it out. Once you're in orbit, you got time to think about things. Okay, I'm just going to orient this a little bit for so... I don't think I really need to. I think I can leave it just like that. That looks great. Okay. Let's see. So you can see, yeah, we have a bit of a plane difference. Oh, you know, it's also why we have a plane difference, because I did burn a little bit to the side as I was landing to avoid a crater. That probably is part of our 3.3 degree plane difference here. But what we're doing, let's see, we're coming around to this side first. I'd like to do these rendezvous if there's a bit of a plane difference at either the DN or the AN, if I can work it out that way. And we'll do a little bit of a burn. Just a little one, like 10 meters per second. Raise our apoapsis a little bit, maybe a little more, because we can certainly afford it. Let's put in like 20 meters per second. Just to raise that apoapsis. This will slow us down. And then what I want to see is how many orbits do I have to do? Am I on the right one? Maneuver 2, yes. How many orbits do I have to do to... There we go. See? Now if I go back to maneuver 1, do a little bit of tweaking with it. Oops, I lost it. That's what I wanted. Right, I can get myself a little encounter there after a few orbits. That's going to be in 5 hours. Now the question becomes, is it better to go to the other one? So we'll move this around. And by the other one, I mean the AN rather than the DN. Same thing, we'll put it... Oh, it's already at about 20. Again, we'll do the hopping ahead. It may not make much of a difference. No, I think this one's worse, actually. Yeah, it is a little bit worse. Not much. So I'll set back up the way it was. Now, 1.9 kilometer separation. Can I tweak that in a little bit? So 1.3. We'll make that work. Okay. Okay. Hello, Philip. Glad to see you. How do rendezvous from, I'm going to assume that's, oh, from low Kerbal orbit to moon polar orbit. How do you do them? I've done a lot of them in this particular stream. I like, personally, what I like to do is make the transfer when the target orbit that I'm going for is parallel to the moon's path. The plane of this target orbit is parallel to the moon's path along the moon. It usually means you got to wait some time. Again, I do have tutorial on it, and I have done it a lot in this series because I've come back and forth from this station. So if you take a look at some of my in fact, the very last week's stream, I'm doing it. So if you want to actually see me doing it live, that's the time I do it. But it's about doing it at the right time more than anything else. Okay, I got to do a burn. That's what I got to do. And I'm going to just tweak down the thrust limiter. That, and time warp to this guy. Again, it's just a tiny little burn. How do you make a realistic... Is that SLS or into Ryan? I'm never really much into realistic. I build for function. I very rarely try to emulate like a realistic spacecraft. My spacecrafts tend to be way too organic. They just don't have that much planning to them. All right, we're going to do this little burn. 20.7 meters per second. Time warp a little. I'm going to try and do this one as precisely as I can. So at 9 seconds, I'm going to go to half throttle. 9 seconds before the burn start, that is. And it just gives me finer control. Should just lock that to prograde, really. Okay. That is probably pretty good. Again, just kind of... I'm just thinking of the solar panels. I should give some good solar panel exposure. How is my encounter? Oh, did I lose that one maneuver? I think I did. I did. Okay, so we got to pop ahead some orbits here. Remember, it's going to take a few orbits for us to get to where we want. There we are, and it's 3.8 separation still. So what I'm going to do is use this one. Which way around are we going? We're going around that way, yeah. See if I can tweak that down a little bit. That makes it worse. I'm wondering, maybe radial is the way to go. Definitely radial is the way to go. So a little radial inwards. Put the scale up a bit. There's a bazillion numbers here, but I'm looking at that 2.7, a little normal adjustment. I don't think I'm doing this at the right... I don't think I'm doing that at a good spot. No, I can see what my problem is I can see here the PE. Not quite high enough. Because I didn't do that burn super precise. See how the blue orbit's not quite high enough? So if I go just to the opposite side, this will make it better. Do one thing at a time. That's first. I'm going to do that with RCS. And we're going around a few times. Anything I'm looking at is Oh, I can't zoom in on it very well. Right here. Getting the blue orbit to match the... I'm going to try just using some puffs of RCS because this is like a nothing burn. Less than a meter per second. Even using the word burn is being very generous. RCS on. Push H. Yeah, that's the idea. Okay. And here now, I am totally winging this, by the way. I should point that out. At about a quarter of an orbit, I'm going to see if I can now use some radial. We'll try and get that to be better. Or we'll just get in close and... Nope, that's working. Radially in. And get the DN over there a little bit, so that's a little bit of normalness, right? Yep. Oh. Further apart than I would normally like them to be. Now we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Sometimes I get just too fiddly. Okay, put this on the target tubes, and what do we got? We got about 2.6 kilometer separation in 12 minutes. There's our station. Probably start pushing this now that way. A little bit more throttle. It's actually a lot more throttle, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm just getting the to use RCS. I'm always really stingy with my RCS, but to use RCS to close that in a little bit more, which I certainly could have done. Fortunately, I saw it too late. There is about a 10-second delay in the chat, but I kind of like using the main engine to really dial that in. I don't know really why. That's why I always have like so much monopropellant in my vessels. Like left over. I don't have a lot stored in there. It's only 15 units of monopropellant, but I always end up using so little of it. And I also use very, very wimpy thruster blocks on my monopropellant, so I can't do big things with them. Oops. That way. There we go. We're down 20 meters now. I should also show that one of the other things I got going if I open up the contracts is I've been picking up a lot of... I got another Explorer Eve, which is just simply enter the atmosphere. That's going to be something for the future. But I got a lot of Minmis. Not been spending a lot of time with Minmis. So I got a lot of Minmis contracts that I should bang off at some point. Don't know if I'm going to get to them today. Including putting another station around Minmis. So I'd love to do... in the near future, some Minmis stuff. I'll start to slow down a little bit. Oh yeah, this thing makes it to the space station and back easy. Still got 200 meters per second left. Over 200 meters per second left. I'm a big fan of building them small. Okay, let's see. I mean, that's the whole point of this lander, is that it can do this. Control from here. And it looks like I'm coming... Oh no, that's going to be my docking port here. A little bit of freak out there with the sunlight. That's annoying. Stop that. Can we click it? Yes. Set that as a target. Off a little bit. So we come above the station. Okay, I'm going only... Okay, I can go. I'm 50 seconds away. So one really trick I like to use is to control from here. That is on 270 and pretty darn close to the horizon, just above the horizon. Whoops, and then if I push the right button, I should be able to put this one on the opposite heading, which is 90 degrees, and just below the horizon, and that should line up the two docking ports. Just like that. They should be lined up now. And now I can see this needs to come this way. I also need to slow down. Going really fast. There we go. That should be all lined up. Oh, we're almost there. Bonk. Hot dog. Crazy pilots. Okay, we're here. Let's transfer over our science. So you are scientists. Grab that. Take that data. And I'm going to... Let's see. Anything that's worth a 0. Show people kind of how this works. We're going to store it into here. So if I review the data that she has aboard, because some of this stuff, like for instance, this EVA report, right, is now worth 0. But I can store, oh, we got to store all of it. Okay, we'll store all of it. Never mind. Just keep that, keep. I thought I could store them one at a time, but I can't. You can just store all that, like that. And now if I go to the lab... Boop, boop, boop. All that stuff I just stored there. If I go to review data, I now have the ability... Oh, an EVA report over the moon's far... Why can't I... Why is that like that? Do I already done... I can't have done it. I've never used the lab before. Okay, I'm a little confused. Let's get her aboard. I'm very confused by that. Maybe you need your 2 scientists aboard? View data. There it is. Maybe I needed to have her aboard. Okay. So even though this is worth no science, it is worth 60, or I guess it's 12 data if you look there, but that's equal to 60 sciences if you have scientists process this over the next 140 days. So it's additional science you can get. Same with this one. Even though it's exhausted, you can do that. This one, though, I want to keep, right? Because I want to bring that one back home. I don't want to just gobble it. And this is, what's this one? Seismic scan. Yeah, let's process that one into science. The data, that one we can process. That one we can process. This one I want to keep. This one I want to keep. There we go. And now I'll EVA her again. The other thing you can do as well, where'd she go? Oh, she's under here. Is you can do EVA reports here. Am I turning? It feels like it. Moon's northwest crater, for instance. I've already done that before, but I can store that. And if I'm bored, I can take that one. Review that data. That's the one I just did. That's 45 science if I process it. You get the idea. All right. I'm going to take the rest of this, though, because if I leave it here, I will forget it. I know me. Because some future data, I want it to go home. The stuff that I'm not processing in the lab, I'm going to put in this. This is our return ride. I'm going to store those experiments, and then we'll put her back in the lab. Okay. Again, though, can't start the whole lab sciencing process without some additional solar panels. That's what's coming next. Okay, we'll transfer over to Bourne. Put you in here, and so that it's ready for next time, we're going to take our 3 fuel cans here. We'll pin them. And we'll go to here, and we will... I hate the way it does that. There we go. Start filling those up again. I think I got enough. Let's... I don't know. There's 172, 171, 171 and 18 is 90, 99, 100... So 799. Did I do that right? I did. 299. But no, 199. About 200 units of liquid fuel goes in here, and there's still 300 units in here closing. Probably fill it one more time. Yeah, one more time. One more mission. I can do this one, 2 more missions after this one, and this thing's going to be needing fuel. Reaction wheels. Oh, yes, and the engine's still on. Thank you. I'll shut that stuff all down in a second. Thank you, thank you. Always want to turn off these engines because I'm the kind of person that would accidentally, press shift, and the next thing you know, you're thrusting off somewhere. Okay, that's that. But definitely enough to fill it one more time after this one. So 2 more landings. The dumb thing about this is I have a mountain of liquid fuel back here because there was a contract to bring 4,000 units of liquid fuel aboard, but I don't have the matching oxidizer. What I think I'll do when I fuel up this station in the future is actually just bring up nothing but oxidizer to match how much fuel's in there. Anyway, engine off. Shut down engine, reaction wheel off. Toggle torque. Okay, and finally monoprop cans. Little bits of monoprop I use, but I still just want to fill those back up again. Out. All right, beautiful. So what we're going to do is we're going to head back to the Space Center. And we're going to send over a little bit of a care package for these folks. Ah, put a nerve engine at the back of that giant tank. I don't know. I think the balancing will be a bit of an issue. Okay, we haven't been here for a while, but what I'm looking for, I think it's this one. Yes, advanced electrics. I want the deployable solar panels. That's it. I also got bigger batteries. Got those light strips. That's kind of cool. Thermal. There's so many of these thermal things, and you don't need them at all. Oh, I got the Cal computer. I've done a little bit with it, but I find it too fiddly. I know there's amazing things you can do with that, but I don't. Okay, so that just spent that on. Got 14.4 left. So we are going to build a little care package. I want to put in solar panels, and I want to send up the seismic accelerometer thing. So the first thing, well, I guess I'll start with a probe core. My best one is still just the hex core. And we'll put that into a 1.25 meter service bay. Sort of get us started here. And I'll probably, what do I got for cargo containers? I got this guy. That's the 1.25 meter one. Just might fit nicely in here like that. That gives me, 6 cargo slots. So what I want to do, let's think about electricity. I know the lab uses 5 units of electric charge per second while you're using it. This solar panel, I'll use the 1x6s. Yeah. Generates 1.6 units of electric charge. I can probably place them so that they'll be pretty much 100%. So let's do a little bit of quick dividing. 5 divided by 1.6 is 3. So 4 should do it. 4 should do it. Oops. Cargo. There's the cargo thing. 1. Well, I don't have a lot of space either. 2. Can't put more than 1 in a thing? No, you can't. 3 and 4. Okay. And I also, if I take a look at science, want to send up the Grand Slam passive seismometer. Put that on the surface of the moon somewhere. We'll need a Kerbal to do that. Now, in order to run this surface equipment, you need to also have, I already have the goo on the surface. In fact, I've collected all the goo that's available. You need to have the control system. That needs to come along as well. And you need some electricity to power it. So everything takes 1 unit of electricity. So I need to generate 2 units of electricity. The solar panels here, if I get a level 1 engineer, and I do have a level 1 engineer in orbit about the moon, to install this solar panel, it will generate 2 units of electric charge. So 1 of these should be it. And just because I got the spots, I think I'm going to put 2 more solar panels in there. So that is our little care package. Just do another quick down. You need more PV for loading the batteries. I'm not sure what that means. I'm sorry. I don't know what PV is. Yes, the breaking ground experiments transmits passively in the background. You don't have to worry about it, which is super nice. Okay, we're going to put in electric. We're going to make this guy now a functional thing. Now, to put its own solar panels on it. But it's going to be able to power just fine with just these guys. What I'll do is go this way. Slide that to the side that way. And then another pair. Snap back on. I don't know why, but I like the look of just... I do know why. It's because I think it's just... Oops. I think it looks just a little bit cleaner. Okay, why am I having... Because I keep... No, it wasn't select. I had the move tool selected, but it wasn't doing it. I don't know why. Turn that off, slide that the other way. But I like hiding the solar panels in this little service bay. That. And I think I might need to go backwards just a little. Just so that they don't end up clipping the doors at all. I like that. Okay, and a Communitron 16 antenna. Just need the one. Okay. Oh, I know you can control Z to do undo. What was I doing that made you think I didn't know that? I don't know. I'm always doing weird things and clicking around. Where are we? Where are we? Solar panels. nose, or sorry, I need a nose cone on the top of this. I don't think this is gonna go in a fairing. I think I'm just gonna put all this in just put a rocket under it, and you know, Bob's your uncle. I think the reaction wheels in the probe core will be more than suffice to get this thing to fly. So, I don't know if I'm crazy advanced. There's people that are much, much, much more creative than I am. Like, honestly, my favorite is Veos for sure. I think he is so much more creative than me. I'm just a functional builder. Okay, we're going for the moon, so I'm just sort of adding up DVs on my calculator, which you can't see. 11, 12. I'm going to go for about 1,200 meters per second to not only get to the moon, but I think this is already going to be too big. Just that tank. That tank's too big. What am I thinking about? That is way too big. I don't need to be that big. Oh, this needs a docking port of some kind. What am I thinking about? So we can dock it to the station. I mean, I guess I could park it beside the station and get a Kerbal to come out, but that's no fun. Does that look funny if it's open? A little bit, but oh well. Life is full of funny looking things. Okay, what did I say? About 2,100, 2,200 meters per second. That's still a little much. This is going to be too small. What was that TWR with that on it? That's more than adequate TWR. Go back to what I had. Let's go with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. We'll put a, what do you call them? Them there, whoops. Them there. Engine plates. That's the word I'm looking for. That's the big one. I don't want that. I don't want that one. There. The goal of this rocket is going to be to simply get a little care package to my Kerbals in space. I think I'm just going to do that. That is ugly as sin, but I kind of don't care. And I'm feeling like I'm just going to push this thing up through the atmosphere. So that's it. That's all we got to get ourselves to the moon. Now we just need to put a very simple little booster under it. Certainly make this a lot shorter. Yep, that'll do fine. Swivel under that. Looking at about total, maybe about 4,800 DV. Yeah, not quite there, but still tons of thrust, so I can put a smaller can under here. There we go. That's good. That's got it. Gonna add RCS for docking. Very good point. All this stuff I forget. Okay, we'll put our booster aside for now because now I gotta think about the... There. RCS for docking. Yes, 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 yes. God, this thing needs nothing, doesn't it? Let's. Okay. I swear I only need... Okay, I'm going to change a couple of things in here. So, I don't... Oh, fortunately, that is on there. Okay, put that aside. I'm going to take that battery out. I'm going to put a different battery somewhere else. Instead, in there, I'm going to put the extra duper small... Just one. So it's not going to need a lot of monopropellant. I'm going to put that right on there, and I'm hoping... If I do that and put the snap on, that this will snap to the center of the vehicle. It is... Oh, I put the snap on. There it is. That snap to the center. And then we're just going to tuck it into the probe core so it's underneath. Just like so. And then we'll put our antenna back. on there. Like so. Maybe move it up a little bit. There you go. I'm pleased with that. Okay, now this can go back on. Boy, that antenna is super hidden back there, but I don't like it. Let's try the antenna on this way. What am I rotating? What did I just rotate? I don't know if I want to know what I just rotated. I control Z'd that away. That. Down. Out. Oh, that's going to interfere with docking. Oh my god, I'm not thinking anything. No, I'm going to put it back up to here. I'll get it eventually. So then I realized if I push that forward, it could potentially... I think that'll work. There we go. That's all better. Okay. Oh, and we need RCS of some kind. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the really little blocks out of these ones. We're only going to put on 4. I'm going to try and center them and just count on the reaction wheels to do my... Now, they might... I'm probably going to need to be higher than that if I open up RCS Build Aid. And notice you can make the reference either the dry center of mass, which is the red ball, or the wet center of mass, which is the, when it's all full of fuel, which is the yellow ball that we're used to. But I'm going to put it back on the dry one, and if I, because this thing's going to be mostly dry by the time it gets to. And then I'm looking at this torque number. And if I move these up until the torque number gets close to 0. Oh, I saw 0. 0.001. Then that should be fine. Just like that. I'm fine with that. Okay. Okay. Are we happy with this now? Oh, maybe I was rotating a so. No, they shouldn't be rotatable in there. Okay. Now I'm back to this. Again, I was shooting for about 40. Pulling up my calculator again. 48. 48.68. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Turn down the thrust limiter a bit. It's there, and let's fiddle with textures. Get another orange stripe here. Oh, it only can be white. Okay, so it'll have to be like that. This one, what happens if I make it orange? Orange. We're gonna go orange and shiny orange. This one, whoops. I don't think I have... Oh, I do have some appearances. I can make it shiny. And I can make this shiny. I can make this dark and shiny. You don't need all those. What are you doing? Just need 2. Okay. So, question becomes, what else have I forgotten? I should get into my action groups here a little bit. On the light action group, I can toggle the doors. And I'll open the antenna. There actually are no lights on this. Okay. This is just a quickie. Boom, boom, boom. I think it's good. This is a care package. A moon station care package. Let's launch. Let's go. This docks to a space station, and the space station is just in need of a couple of extra things. That's it. That's the purpose of this. So right now, boom, boom, and yeah, we should just go straight up. Let's check the staging one last time. Off. Thank you to the person who reminded me for the RCS. Pitching her over. And just lock it to that prograde vector, and we'll just let it ride. Now there's probably some drag associated with this little gap here. I'm not 100% sure. I guess you can hit F12. Now you get the aerodynamics overlay. Go through the clouds here. You can see little red marks there showing a little bit of drag associated with these fins. Now you can see this one. It's hard to tell. You know, that's the drag on the whole rocket there. I don't know if that little gap means anything or not. Frankly, I don't care. Hardcore simply means I'm playing on hard with no reverts. And I turned down the science rewards further than normal. I don't know if I should have called it hardcore, but that's what I did. No, I'm not going to just end the stream if I crash. That wouldn't be good. I mean, I might crash like in the first 5 minutes. That wouldn't be a good stream. Has anyone died? Yes. Unfortunately, yes. Very, very early in this series, Jebediah, I was getting much too ambitious and much too aggressive. I've since simplified things, but yes, in a very, very lame or sketchy craft, Jebediah, along with a couple of tourists, died. Yeah, well, very sad. How much money do I have? I'm over $1 million Kerbal. I should start looking to see if I can do some things like upgrading some buildings and things like that. Okay, so I'm being told that because this diameter of the comb matches the diameter underneath, that it should see it as dragless. It's just ugly. Yeah, it is ugly, I will say that. Okay, how are we doing here? Apoapsis is at 61 kilometers. And climbing a little bit. We should be staging at some point in all of this. Getting on the little spark engine pretty soon. Oh, somebody earlier was talking about how do you rendezvous with something in a polar orbit about the moon. This thing's going to have to do it. So we'll be looking at that very, very shortly. I'm not sure who it was in the chat that asked that. I hope the person's still here. Oh, next. Next. Full throttle on the little spark engine. Just about in space. I can open up my doors. Hopefully the antenna deployed. Sometimes the antenna doesn't deploy when I do this. It says it's blocked by the doors, but then other times like that time it works, so I don't know. Oh, I should get rid of this stupid undock. I knew that would happen. Okay, wait till we're not under thrust anymore. Okay, that's 80 on the Apo. Let's see. Should have turned sideways a little bit before I dislodge that. I might end up just driving right back into it again. Might be able to clear that. Almost in an orbit. It's pitching up a bit so I don't end up going past my apoapsis. Okay, so there we are. We are in low orbit. Let's talk about... I'm hoping the person's still here, but let's talk about getting to our station that's in a polar orbit about the moon. So if I focus on the moon here, set that station as a target. Not the moon, the station as a target. There we go. Come back to here. Do your normal transfer out to the moon, which should be about 155-ish, or 855-ish meters per second at delta V. Then we focus back on the moon again. And we take a look at how this is working out. I'm going to put this on the little maneuver widgety tool. Move this forward so it's at about the most efficient spot, which is about there. And you can see, oh, this is working out really well. What you want is this incoming trajectory to be in the same plane as your target orbit and this worked out really well. So I'm going to actually do the launch very, very soon. But if this didn't come out to be pretty good, what you would do is you would just pop ahead a bunch of orbits and then refix the timing and see how that angle has changed. So you would just keep popping ahead orbits until things line up really well. But for me, I happen to be in a pretty good spot right now, so I don't think I need to worry about that. I think I'm going to just go for it. We're going to have a tiny little plane difference, and that's it. I'm going to really try and dial this in and make this as efficient as I can. I think that's going the wrong way. Oh, I think I was pretty darn close. Okay, which one of those lines is the incoming one? It's that lower one. So I want that lower one to come right in parallel. A little bit more in the prograde. Beautiful. Lovely. Yeah, we're going to do that. Do that right there. And then we'll do obviously a correction on the way here so that we don't go crashing right into the moon. But that worked out great. Okay, that burn's coming up in just a little bit. You can hit F to reset. No, I did know that, but I don't remember saying that in quite some time. I use that a lot, hitting F to reset the SAS with planes, where you just touch the F button and then this all turns off, and it's just sort of relocks it. Like it turns it off for a moment, then you let go and it relocks it to whatever the new heading is. It can be really useful for planes, I find, but don't use it a lot for spacecrafts. This button time warps to the maneuver, but it stops a minute before. You might be able to get into the settings to get it to stop less than a minute before. I wouldn't be surprised if you could, but Minute before is good for me. All right, 12, 10 seconds to the burn. Time warp a little bit more. Okay. Go. Little tiny spark engine. I sometimes get people getting on me about the spark engine. They don't like it. I like it. It doesn't have the greatest... They look at the mass to thrust weight ratio, I think. But there's nothing knocking the fact that the engine itself is pretty darn light. And so why carry more engine than you need is always the way. You know, you put more weight on than you need a bigger rocket just to carry around the extra weight. So I always go with the smallest rocket, the smallest motor I can to service the need what I got. Should look at this from the moon. You know, I could use RCS here too. Look at that. Okay, so that is that. Next step in all this is a correction burn, but halfway point. And the easiest mistake in the world, when I've done that, which says that I've done it, is to... Do I go and bring this trajectory north, or do I bring this trajectory south? And it has everything to do with what the station is doing. The station is coming up around the top, so I need to bring it to the north. I need to up the scale a bit. There we go. And you can tell as well by simply looking at your inclination difference. It's 5.3 degrees, which is not very much. If you went the wrong way, it would be closer to 180 degrees. I just gave it some retrograde. I needed to give it some anti-normal. Oh, that's a little too much. I want that PE right on where the station is. But I think it's a little bit to the side. Yes, it is. So I believe I'm going to fix that. I always experiment with, is it like prograde retrograde that fixes it more? So that, oh, that changes the inclination a lot though. Or do I want to try... See, I think this changes... No, it does about the same, doesn't it? No. Okay. Put that back to 0. The retrograde got more effect for less dV. So we're going to end up going at a bit of a higher inclination difference, but I'm coming in right where I want to. I want the PE to just cross there. Plane change won't be much. A little higher, maybe? There we go. Get all those icons right. Okay, beautiful. Okay. And that burn is coming up in an hour and 29 minutes. And we should check on our rover too. Remember I showed that rover right at the beginning of all this? Just thinking about those solar panels there. Oh, wait, this way. Make sure they have some good exposure. Okay. But remember I showed you that rover at the very beginning of all this, and I said that I was just waiting. I got a contract for it, but I'm waiting for it to get into the sunlight. And when we get there, we should check on that, make sure it has gotten into the sunlight. It may have, it may not have. Turn down this throttle limiter. It's only a 1 second burn. I never like that. 6 seconds is good. And there's no reason for this, wait for that to go down to 0. This is not that precise in terms of timing goes. I'm sorry. Yes is saying about something being obscured by the docking port. What's being... Oh, the solar panels? I don't think they're not being obscured. I would have found... oh my gosh, I hope not. Now you got me paranoid. I think that looks pretty good. Nope, I like it. Yep. Let me look at my solar panels. No. They're a little bit blocked by solar panels, but not a lot. I can come around to this side here and take a look. Nope, 100% exposure. Just a little bit blocked. They're fine. It's not like this thing's going to use a lot of electricity. Okay, let's get ourselves to the moon. So warp to here. Okay, we are now in the moon's SOI. So now we need to facilitate ourselves the rendezvous part of it. We work to get our plane change to not be too bad, but now we want to get the rendezvous, so burn there. And I want to not only get my capture, but also get a rendezvous at the same time. These aren't moving, so what that means is I need to move it forward just a second or two until they jump. Oh, 1 second's all it took. And now I'm just going to keep going around. I think that's it. Right there, that one. And there we go. That's it. 1.4 kilometer separation. 500 meters. 500 meters it is. Okay. Well, I'm glad you can make it, furries from outer space. Actually, what I wanted to look at is where is my... Oh, see, there's my rover. And it is now in the sunlight. So once we get this docked and get our equipment installed, that's gonna be our next step. Let's get there. All right. I'm actually going to put it on here because I really do want to watch what that intersect distance is going to be like. I never looked at the cost of all this, but I suspect the cost of the cargo might be just about as much as the cost of the rocket. This is a real cheapy one. Okay. About 10 seconds to go. 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 and go. Again, what I'm really looking at is that intersect distance at the bottom left. Oh, I might. It seems to be every time. It's very flaky. See how it flakes in and out? Like it says 1.4 and then it goes to 500 meters. What's it say? Oh my gosh, we got... What? Let's delete the mode. The node. That does not help. So the game's deciding it's not going to tell me what's going on over here. It doesn't know. Well, we'll time warp and we'll hope that that gets a little better. And just... Oh, I'm still locked to retrograde here. That's why it's fighting me a bit. And Just looking at those solar panels, 100% exposure. Okay, so we're just going to go around one more time. And I don't know if I'm 1.5 kilometers away at closest approach or 500 meters away at closest approach, but either one's going to be close enough. It's just being a little glitchy over there. Yeah, definitely will be popping over to this. You can see my pin cushions of landings. Various vessels have landed here. There's landing 2 for the Kertrepid. Not much on this side. Oh, I think I got 2 landing 4s now that I look at it. I think I got a landing 4 there and a landing... No, that's a landing question mark. Landing 1. Landing 4 there too. Oh, this is the same one. Okay, that's just me. All right, where are we at? Where are we at? Around 10 minutes. It keeps bouncing back and forth. We'll stop and hopefully I'll do a little... That is so weird that it's being that buggy. All right, well, let's look at it from here. Put that onto the retrograde. There's our station. We got a little bit of sideways action coming because of the plane difference. Hopefully this will settle itself out at some point. A little closer, and then we still have quite a lot of relative velocity. So got to start doing something about that. Let's just... Still doing it. I thought as I got closer it would settle out a little bit, but it's not. Oh, now it's settled out. It's decided on 4.8 meters, which is a pretty happy number. I can get a lot closer. Always like to do a little bit of a test thrust and just see, can I push that time 2 up? And if I can, really easily like that, that means I can get a lot closer before I have to start slamming on the brakes. There's a very high thrust to weight ratio. I think I got a very light rocket given how little fuel's left. Oh my gosh, I only got 100 meters per second. Somewhere we used, I thought I crazy overbuilt this thing. Somewhere I used more fuel than I thought I would. Let's turn this down. Yeah, I'm really surprised at how tight this turned out to be. I should go back and look. Maybe used more fuel during the ascent than I thought it would. Okay, whoa. Slow right down. Slow right down. Mick Chuckleson. Now there's lots and lots of docking ports on this. In fact, I see a good candidate right here. Slow right down. Stop it. There we go. Set that as a target. Control from here. That's where you're going. Up that way. Again, I'm going to do the same trick of... Where are we coming for this one? Is control from here. So at about, what's that, 270? So that would be 90 on the other side and about 45 degrees into the brown. I keep doing that. So 90 45 degrees in the brown. That should have the docking ports lined up. Go sideways a bit. Am I going to deorbit this little guy? Yeah, I probably will deorbit this little guy because the seismic accelerometer, the Grand Slam seismic accelerometer that is aboard it, that I'm going to put on the lander and deploy, does require an impactor. So this little fella has impactor written all over it. So does, by the way, the thing that's beside it there to the left. That is also something I will deorbit at some point. Boink! There we go. Beautiful. Happy days. Okay. So that's all good. That's all good. What I think I shall do... Can I transfer this stuff from in here? Can I do it from in here, or do I have to get a Kerbal to do it? Can I move that? Oh yeah, I don't mind that. I don't know if these are very different in weight. Put one on the other side. So this is the equipment that's going to end up going down to the surface. So I might as well get that aboard right now. And here, we'll shut down this engine. We'll turn off the reaction wheels, though, I mean, really, I don't think it matters that much. Oh, they're going to be hard to click on, aren't they? Nope. There we go. And... Doom, 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 doom. Solar panels. So what I want to do, let me think. I'm going to have to reorient this whole vessel. I would love this station to be oriented differently. I don't know if you remembered last week, I tried to come in, I tried to move some of these docking ports around. And it's really, really tempting to try that again. What I'd love to do is have this piece more angled. And what I'm thinking about, this could turn into an adventure, but I'm looking at the time of the stream, and an adventure might be fun. What I'm thinking about is taking this docking port you see here and putting it on the station, getting rid of the little 1.25. Oh no, that's not going to work. Oh yes it will. Yes it will. Yes it will. Taking this docking port off, disconnect this docking port comes off, put it on the station right here, and then rotate this whole contraption, this whole top half of the station 90 degrees and redock it so this is gonna be like an L. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking it'll work because I like, then these solar panels will be north-south. Alright, I'll consider that. For now though, before we do that, that's where it needs to be. I want to go to this rover and I want to see if I can find myself some of this there moonstone. No, not moonstone. What am I talking about? A large moon crater. Now, it could turn into a complete fiasco in catastrophe. That has certainly happened before. That is what we call a flag. There's my rover. I happen to have a Kerbal land nearby, and he planted a flag. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to find a large moon crater. I'll bring up the contract again because I got this to transmit science from a moon large crater, obviously on the moon. They just look like little craters. Now, I'm going to give a half-hearted effort to try and find one naturally. But I do have, there is in the console menu, a little cheat function that you can use if I start to find this a little bit too frustrating. But we'll give it, I will not say the college try, because it won't be a very hard try. But I will give it a half-ass try. before I get bored and frustrated and say, the heck with this. Especially with all these parallax rocks around. Okay, is there anything in there? No. Which really makes it hard to spot other stuff. Well, I would say I'm now halfway through my half-assed try of trying to find a moon crater. Whoa, wait. I thought... Nope. Nope. Just got excitements. Okay, half-assed try is done. So Alt F12. Oh, I know exactly where this one is. Go down here to the surface under breaking ground and surface features. And there is a surface feature finder. Click on that. And, oh, does it actually tell you like how much is around? Oh my gosh. Moonstone, large moon crater. 19 features found. Okay. So it puts all of these big arrows and they're pointing right down. Now they could be pointing to moonstone. They could be pointing to moon craters. There is a moon crater there, but I bet you anything that's a small one. But what we'll do is we will investigate that. That's a moonstone. I can see that. So it's right by the flag. So let's drive over to where the flag is. It's at least a nice waypoint. And are you gonna drive for me? I have no... Oh, my fingers are in the wrong keys. Yeah. But, we'll get this over there. So what we got to do is use this little rover arm to scan it. And it says here you have to transmit 0 of 33% transmit. Oh, I got to transmit 33% of the total available. I don't know how much you'll get in just one go. Hopefully I won't have to find more than one. I was going for that flag. Where is the flag? Am I going the right way? I had a waypoint with the flag on it just a moment ago. F4? Oh, I'm driving right by the flag. There it is. I was too close to it. Okay, so I think it was in here, but I'm pretty sure it is just a regular... Yeah, I see it. I don't know if it's the large one or a regular one. And this rover, when did I put this rover? I think it was a couple of streams ago. I put it, or was it last stream? I think it was last stream I put this down. I think I built it the stream before. Should keep a little bit of a look at my electricity. I don't know. Do you think it's big or do you think it's small? Place your bets. Right now, we have a mission to scan a moon large crater, and I do not know if this is a large one or a small one, but we're going to scan it. It said scan moon crater. That's not encouraging. So it did our scan. Now, to be honest, this could be science anyway. Nope, no science. So this is a moon crater scan from the moon surface. Okay, so that's no good. Lock that. Okay, so we've got to find... So that's what the small one looks like. Now we got to find us a large one. And so we're going to look at where all of these... And again, sometimes they point to moonstone. You would think the large one should be easier to spot. But each of those red arrows are pointing to something. If you can't see it, it's probably the moonstone, which is probably what most of them are. That looks like another small one right there. And that looks like a small one. Well, maybe I should go to these anyways, because maybe it's... No, they all look small. I would think a big one would look big. Hang on, is this guy a big one? Right here? Or is that another small one? Looks like from my line, I go pi the flag again. So which way do I got it? Here, bring up the dopey. Oh. You think that's a big one. Now I've lost it again, though. Right here. This guy. Okay, so it's really hard to tell which way I got to go. But we'll go in that general direction. So I got to turn a little bit left. A little bit that general direction. And we'll hopefully get closer. You can turn on collision visibility in the cheat menu. It's going to be easier to find find large craters. Collision visibility. Oh, I see. Does it put like a glow around it or something? I'll try that next. Is that what happens, Maxim? If you turn it on in the cheat menu, does it put a little mesh around it? Oh, you don't have to be sorry if you're wrong there, A120. I was hoping it would be a large one too, but hopes and reality rarely coincide, and it certainly isn't anyone's fault. I'm gonna drive like I'm pretending to avoid these rocks, but... Oh, shite! Turn the other way. That is an impressive display of... Okay, SAS off. How is it hanging like that? Okay, we're going to put this back on normal, so I should be able to rotate it back down. Whoa, jeepers! Well, okay, stop. Stop, 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 stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Roll back. Brakes on. Wow. Now we'll put this back on SAS only. Okay, that was interesting. Traction control is still at max. You think that's a problem? Oh wait, my brakes are on. That's why. That's a current problem. You turn traction. I remember I was climbing hills or something, right? I'm never 100% sure what all of this kind of does. That's a 2.6. I'm going through rocks. It did turn way too sharply. Ah! I'm ruining the immersion. Okay. Come out of this little rock field. You can turn on the collision for all of these. I can, like the nightmare that would be generated by that is beyond my belief. How did you not break the antenna? I got very lucky. Oh, I see. So if I keep the traction control a little lower, it'll slide a little bit on the surface rather than roll over. Good to know. But I know I was doing a lot of... I hope I'm still going the right direction. That's the other thing. I know I was doing some pretty impressive... Well, I don't know if it's impressive, but I was doing some significant hill climbing. Okay, where was that one we were looking at? Of course, now we can't find it, right? Oh, are you? There's something here. I need to go a little left. A little to the left. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but there's going to be one somewhere. That one's definitely a large one. Okay. I noticed that if you put on the menu here, it tells you, right? Moon large crater. I mean, I don't know what a quad is. 0 quad 0, but I see 21 features. So to me, that says that 21 of these red arrows that we see are large moon craters. So that gives you actually, now that I'll bring that back up again, but that gives you a pretty good idea of the frequency. There's 216 moonstones, 73 moon craters, and then 21 large moon craters. So definitely most of these are just moonstone. Moonstone's easy to find. Oh, that looks way, I can see it here now. That looks way big. Has to be a big one. Oh, that is what happened. You're right. Salem reminded me that I had to turn up the traction control because the rover was sliding on a hill and it was interfering with my ability to take a scan. Oh, look at that thing. It's huge. It's huge. And that's why I turned up the traction control. Oh, that, there can be little doubt now, right? When you're up beside it, you just realize just how big the thing is. I don't feel bad about using that cheat menu because I think searching for these things without any kind of an aid is just completely unreasonable. All right, beep, 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 beep. A little further back. That should be good. Okay, no slidings this time. Ah, it even says it here. Moon large crater. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Now, how much science I get out of this, I have no idea. I do love the little scanner, though. And this is only the small arm. There is a big arm, too. Okay, that's 24 science. Is that a third of it? It doesn't feel like a third, does it? Doesn't. Your scan has collected some, but not all the information available. Come back later with a better sense. So I think I need to come with the oh, no. Really? So I'm transmitting it. Did it transmit? Did I miss it? Review report. Transmit. There it goes. I'm a little worried it's not enough. I'm a little worried it wants me to come back with the large one. There's a large version of this. We'll find out. Wow, that's using a lot of electricity. We're okay, but... Oh, it did it. Never mind. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. 38. Okay. So I got 38 science back home. That satisfied the contract. That is great. Let's, where is the sun? I want to park this thing where it'll get a nice charge. Probably just driving away from this crater would be a good idea, and that might be about it. You can see the... Just aim it. Like, I know this is either due west or due east. That seems like a good place to aim the solar panel. So right about here. Break that. Okay, so that is that contract done. I still got all of these Minmus ones. I do want to get into that, but you know, I'm looking at the time of the stream and I'm thinking this is probably a good time to call this one. I also want to, of course, muck around a bit with that moon station as well and get that lab going, but I think all of that is going to have to be for next time. Now, just a quick reminder, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I'm going on a vacation. I'm going to be gone for about a week, so no KSP next week, but there will be KSP on Tuesday of the week after that. In the meantime, have yourself a fantastic couple of weeks, and we'll see you all later. Bye, everybody.